Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chantel Smith, and I'm the coordinator for recruitment and programming here in the Honors College at the University of Maryland. Joining me for this chat tonight are Jenny Lang, the Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment within the Honors College, and several of our current students. Will you please introduce yourselves? Tell us where you're from, your major, which living learning program you're in. I'll start with Jackie.
Hi, everyone. So lovely to join you all tonight. My name is Jackie. I am a senior, double majoring in biology and women's studies. I am from Frederick, Maryland, and my living learning program is Integrated Life Sciences, or ILS.
Thanks, Jackie. Next, Lauren.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Murphy. I am from Ellicott City, Maryland. I'm a senior mechanical engineering major with a double minor in Spanish and sustainability, and I'm in the Design Cultures and Creativity program.
Thanks, Lauren. Grace?
Hi, everyone. My name is Grace. I am a senior studying business management. I'm from Baltimore County, and I'm in Honors Humanities.
Thanks, Grace. Mary Catherine?
Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Catherine. I'm a sophomore in the business school, and I'm from Rockville, and I'm in University Honors.
Perfect. Anjali?
Hi, everyone. I'm Anjali. I'm a senior chemical engineering major from Gaithersburg, Maryland, and I'm in Gemstone.
Perfect. And last but certainly not least, Emily.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily. I'm a senior bioengineering major, and I'm in Design Culture and Creativities, or DCC.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. So this presentation will be about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll be available to answer your questions live until about 8 p.m. Please feel free in the meantime, while we're doing the presentation, to ask us questions in the Q&A section. Our students will be available there to answer while we're talking. There is an option for you to upvote a question. So if another participant is asking a question that you also are interested in getting answered, you can actually check mark it, or and it'll vote it up on our priority list to answer. So feel free to use that feature. We will be recording today's session. Afterwards, if you have to leave early, or you know someone who didn't get a chance to come tonight, we will be posting this session on our website. It should be there within the next few days. So we'll go ahead and get started. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen, and then we'll jump into the presentation. Alrighty, so again, that's me and Jenny. So what is the Honors College, you may be wondering? The Honors College is home to now 8 different living learning programs. Living learning programs are specialized partnerships between resident life staff and other student services staff at the university. It's where faculty and academic administrators link the curricular and residential experiences in ways that create opportunities for deeper understanding and integration of classroom material for our students. So you can look at the Honors College as an enhancement to your education, not necessarily anything that may be adding more classes to your workload, but possibly allowing you to change, or to have different option of classes to take in order to fulfill some of your graduation requirements that you're going to have to fill to be required to take anyways, along with a co-curricular component included. Our goal is to foster learning inside and outside of the classroom, and to create a supportive, close-knit community for our students. We're looking beyond academics and providing opportunities for our students to connect with faculty, each other, and the community around them. And one of the most important parts of our Honors College community actually lies within our mission and culture of inclusive excellence, which binds the pursuit of academic excellence to values of difference and diversity, and uses the power of our knowledge to promote justice, equity, and engagement within the world. With this in mind, our hope and goal is that when our honor students graduate, that they are able to critically be self-reflected on their knowledge and experiences, ethically aware to be able to make right and moral decisions, willing to take intellectual and creative risks, and that they're prepared to work collaboratively.
Right. So Chantel mentioned that we have now 8 living learning programs. This is new as of less than a week ago. We've added 2 new programs. So all students who are invited to the Honors College will be in one of our unique living learning programs. Each program has a different curriculum and area of focus or approach which students pursue to earn their honor citation. After our admission decisions are released, students will have the opportunity to identify which of these living learning programs they prefer through a preferencing form. Students will then know which program they're in before they have to confirm their decision to enroll at the University of Maryland. So let's talk about each of these programs. The first one is Advanced Cybersecurity Experience for Students, only known as ACEs. This program develops successful, forward-thinking cyber leaders who create a safer world by embracing both the technical and non-technical aspects of cybersecurity. Design Cultures and Creativity, which explores the role and impact of design in our societies and creative practices in ways that cut across STEM and non-STEM disciplines. These students are theorists and thinkers who investigate the digital age through designing, analyzing, and creating. Next is Gemstone. This is a unique multidisciplinary 4-year research program for honor students of all majors who are interested in leadership, teamwork, and social impact. Students will work in teams of 8 to 12, beginning at the end of their freshman year and continuing all the way through their senior year on a research project with the guidance of a dedicated faculty mentor. The first of our 2 new programs that we're really excited to present is called Honors Global Communities. And this program offers students the opportunity to engage deeply and broadly with major global issues and challenges through multiple integrated fields in the social sciences, political, economic, sociological information studies, and through data science, while also offering access to internship opportunities in global public service in connection with the nation's capital area. Honors Humanities is our signature program for exploring the arts and humanities in all their creative, social, and global dimensions, empowering students to find their voices in imagining their future and in changing the world. Next is the second of our new programs called Interdisciplinary Business Honors. This program offers students a big picture view of business in relation to multiple fields, life callings, and social issues, and challenges students to imagine the future of work and business. Integrated Life Sciences, which is known as ILS, offers unparalleled, accelerated, and innovative courses and research opportunities in all areas of the life sciences, as well as service learning experiences that are designed to launch the career of outstanding students exploring all aspects of life sciences. And finally, University Honors. And University Honors is our oldest, largest, and freshly reimagined and relaunched program with an exciting new curriculum and brand new residence halls and program space in the middle of campus. This is a program which is not defined by a specific subject, but rather it draws on distinguished faculty from across campus to teach fascinating courses on big questions and ideas from different disciplinary perspectives, STEM and non-STEM. Students will pursue their curiosity wherever it leads, as they also encounter multiple perspectives of thinking. Now, every one of these programs is available to students of any major. So honor students may be in a living learning program that is related to their major if they want to go more in depth in their chosen field of study, or they could choose to be in a program that's the complete opposite of their major, giving them an opportunity to broaden their experience during their time here.
So what exactly are the benefits of being an honors college student at the University of Maryland? So in the Honors College, students actually take small discussion-based courses, many of which are smaller than the regular courses offered to all UMD students. Our students also typically earn their honor citation, which is listed on their transcript, within 2 years, although one of our programs, Gemstone, is within 4 years since it is a 4-year research-based program. Students are also able to connect with fellow honor students, faculty, and staff more closely because of the tight-knit community that we foster. We offer study abroad, internship, and research opportunities on and off campus. Our students participate fully in the life of the university. So some students may think, or prospective students may think that maybe our students are siloed away from the rest of campus. That's absolutely not true. Majority of our students are members of many departments and student organizations across campus. And we also offer a number of social events to encourage Honors College students to connect both with the entire honors community and through their specific living learning programs. To include one of our most popular events that we host, which is our ice cream socials featuring Maryland Dairy ice cream. And if you haven't had it, you must try it.
I second the recommendation to try the Maryland Dairy ice cream. So internships. Our location gives students access to many internship opportunities in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. region. Each of our programs will bring in experts in the field of study to meet with their students. For example, the Advanced Cybersecurity Experience Program, or ACES, has a career mentor component where experts from organizations such as the NSA come in and talk to the students in the program about their career, how they got there, and then they offer the students guidance on their careers. And all of our programs do that, not just ACES. Internships can be both during the school year and over the summer, and they can be either on or off campus.
So University of Maryland is a Research One institution, which actually means that we typically have access to more grants, more labs, more faculty, and thus more opportunities for undergraduate students to get involved. So if that's the overall picture of University of Maryland, and the benefit of being a part of the Honors College is that we do offer smaller class sizes. And so with that being said, our students have more access to the faculty and therefore more opportunities to work within our faculty labs. We also have research opportunities available both on and off campus. And because of our prime geographical location, students have access to research opportunities in the area to include Johns Hopkins and the National Institutes of Health, along with some of the other places that you see on this slide are just examples or some of examples of where our students have had research opportunities.
And study abroad. This is definitely something that students at the University of Maryland are able to take advantage of. Many of our students in the Honors College are in majors that have heavy course loads. So this could make studying abroad for an entire semester challenging. If that's the case, there are winter, spring break, and summer study abroad programs. And just to note, while study abroad programs have been paused for more than a year, we did resume in a limited capacity for this semester, and we are preparing for more study abroad opportunities beginning in winter 2022. But students who are interested in studying abroad for a semester, it's definitely a possibility. So those students should talk to their advisor about these possibilities as early as possible and should visit the study abroad office on campus. And for some of our living learning programs, there's a study abroad option in the curriculum. So if study abroad is important to you, this is a great way to pursue study abroad and complete honors citation requirements at the same time.
So at the University of Maryland, there's literally hundreds of involvement opportunities. But within the Honors College within itself, we do have several different ways that our students can be involved. And on this screen, you'll see a few of the different councils and organizations that we have within the Honors College. I'll highlight a couple. First one, a little biased, but the Honors Ambassadors. It is a student volunteer organization consisting of current students who are available to talk with prospective students, like the student panel joining us tonight. These students participate in all of our on-campus recruiting events, and they are just an awesome group of students who literally make themselves available to answer questions and concerns of our prospective students. They're an awesome group. And another one to notate is Black Honors Caucus, which it aims to serve the university as a whole by providing a forum for diversity and discussion about the community's greatest concerns. And although this organization is actually sponsored through the Honors College, membership is open to all students at the University of Maryland.
Once students get here, we have a scholarship office here on campus. So this helps connect our students with scholarships that fit their goals and skills. Many of our Honors College students have been very successful in applying for and winning these competitive national and international awards. And you can see here on the slide just a few of the national awards and scholarships that our students in the Honors College have earned over this past year. And now that you've heard all about the Honors College, the next question is, how do I join? The good news is there's no additional application to be considered for the Honors College. All students who apply to the University of Maryland, either through the Coalition app or the Common app, by the early action deadline of November 1st, will be automatically reviewed to be invited into the Honors College. When we're evaluating applications for the Honors College, we do a holistic review of the entire application. We take into consideration the academic record, standardized test scores, rigor of curriculum, and extracurricular activities, among other factors. An important thing to note is that University of Maryland will continue to be test optional for applicants applying for fall 2022 and fall 2023. What this means is that students will have an opportunity on their application to indicate whether or not they want to apply with standardized test scores. So a student can choose whether they want to submit their SAT or ACT scores or not. Just note, once you make this decision, you can't change your mind later. So think carefully about whether you want to submit your scores or not. Whether your students submit scores, you'll receive full consideration for admission, invitation to the Honors College, and consideration for merit scholarships. And again, if you select that you want to submit scores and you don't have scores in by November 1st, your application will not be considered complete and will not be considered with the early action deadline. So think carefully, make sure your scores are going to be available to be submitted by November 1st, and make the decision that's best for you. Of the students that are invited to the Honors College, these students fall near the top of the University of Maryland's admitted class in terms of standardized test scores and academic performance. These students earn very nearly all A's, if not all A's, and they are taking the most rigorous courses available to them at their school. And anyone who is invited into the Honors College will be notified with their acceptance letter. So acceptance letters to the University of Maryland will go out, I think, on or before February 1st. And information about invitations to the Honors College are in that letter. So here's some information. This information is about our fall 2021 invited class, so the students who are freshmen right now. Our usual class size is approximately 1,000 students. I think right now we are at 1,014, last I looked at the data, freshmen in honors. The average GPA, we have it listed here, it's 4.65, but we don't look at the actual GPA. We look at the courses the students has taken and the grades that they received in those courses. So this is the average GPA, but we do not make any decisions based on a student's GPA. Then you'll see for students who chose to submit their SAT, the middle 50% of students invited to honors is between 1480 and 1560. And same for ACT. For the students who chose to submit their ACT, the middle 50% of students received a 34 or 35.
So the Banneker Key Scholarship is Maryland's most prestigious scholarship offered. All freshman applicants to the University of Maryland who meet the early action deadline of November 1st and who are also invited to the Honors College are automatically considered for nomination to the Banneker Key Scholarship and for all other merit scholarships offered by the University of Maryland. There is no additional application materials required. This exceptional scholarship opportunity is offered to only a select group of applicants who have demonstrated significant academic leadership and accomplishment in high school, and who we believe will enrich and benefit from the campus learning environment. There are 2 levels of funding for the Banneker Key. It's full and partial. So the full Banneker Key provides full tuition, resident hall room, and basic resident dining plan for 4 years. The partial Banneker Key currently provides $8,000 for in-state students and $12,000 for out-of-state students tuition annually. Both levels of the scholarship include an additional book allowance each year. And on the slide, you can kind of see some quick stats. About 400 students are invited to interview for the Banneker Key. And you can see that the average GPA is usually around 4.7. Again, just to reemphasize what Jenny just said, that is just the average based off the data. It's not something that we look at, but that's just the average. And the SAT average was 1530. And then here you can see some stats from our Honors College students who graduated during the 2019 school year, including spring, summer, and December graduation. 68% of our Honors College graduates had a job offer right after graduation, which is awesome. And we had 17% that planned to attend graduate school after their undergrad career. Some students also went into different volunteer opportunities to include opportunities like the AmeriCorps or the Peace Corps. And then we had a small percentage of our students that actually decided to go to the military after graduation.
So these are two long lists of universities and companies where our students work. This is just a few examples that I chose out of the long list of our students who graduated during the year 2019. Our examples of the types of graduate programs our students attended include med school, law school, veterinary medicine, library science, engineering, and anthropology. And then some career placement examples include Amazon, Booz Allen Hamilton, Voice of America, and PricewaterhouseCoopers. And this is really just a small sample of the many places our students go after they graduate.
And with that being said, before we get over to going live with answering live questions, we had a couple of student or a few student spotlights, just so you can kind of see the range as far as this, what a typical honors college student looks like, which it could vary. We have Sabs that's in BCC, who is majoring in government and politics, minoring in Arabic and French. Some of her favorite activities are reading, writing, and running. And she also, something when we asked her, what does she like about the Honors College? She was really excited to say that she likes the supportive faculty that she's encountered. And one of the things that she said as far as advice that she would say for prospective students going through the admissions process is just making sure to be careful and choose an environment that makes you feel like home. Then we have Alyssa. Oops, sorry. We have Alyssa. She's in our Honors Humanities program, studying neurobiology and physiology. You can just see a few of the different activities that she's a part of. And then something that she says she enjoys about the Honors College is just having the opportunity to pursue different interests that are outside of her major, which we love to see. And then also just getting to meet people, like-minded individuals that are interested in stuff that she's interested in. And advice that she says for prospective students is to make sure that you tour the school if you're able to. And this is the same thing for Derek as well. They both emphasize just making sure that you're connecting with people there, current students, staff, asking questions, and just making sure that it is going to be an environment that you can be comfortable and find yourself there and be able to grow there as well. And then last but not least, tagging into Derek, he's a mechanical engineering major who is a part of our university honors program. And again, these are just a couple of different activities that he's in, Quest, College Success Scholars. And something that he enjoys about the honors college is the different classes that he gets to choose in university honors to explore his intellectual curiosity. So with that being said, I'm going to just put this slide up really quickly to say thank you. Don't forget to apply by November 1st. If you want to learn more about the Honors College and the application process to the University of Maryland, and then it will kind of talk about like our process of inviting students and all that good stuff. Go ahead to honors.umd.edu, check out our website. You might like something. If you want to contact us and ask questions afterwards, you can email us at honorsadmissions@umd.edu. And don't forget to follow us on social media. That's where you'll be able to see different interactions with our students. We have student spotlights. Our different programs will usually highlight a student and let them take over their page. And so you kind of get to see a day in the life of different students at the University of Maryland and within our different living learning programs in the Honors College. So if you're interested in that and learning about different opportunities and stuff of that nature, definitely follow us at Instagram. You'll be able to see everything else from TikTok and stuff like that on our Instagram page. So out of all three of those, I would say follow us on Instagram. With that being said, I'm going to stop sharing. And we'll get to the questions. All right, so this first question, I'm going to actually pass this to a couple of our ambassadors possibly. So the question is, what happens if you don't get into your preferred program? Are there any of you who may have preferenced something first, if you remember, that you didn't get into, and like can talk about that and your experience with being in a program that you didn't necessarily preference first? Did y'all get your first preference? I mean, that's good if you did, but okay, y'all did. Well then, guys, and you can see that the majority make it their, we typically will try to get your preference, your top three. We really do try to get one of your top three choices. But if you don't get into your preferred program, I feel like the best thing, since we don't have a student perspective to say that, I would just say the other students that I've talked to that haven't been in their preferred program have said that they actually were okay with where they ended up. There was one of our ambassadors that said that I think she had preference ILS first, but she got into university honors and she was like, that was a good decision. Because she has such a STEM based program, it was nice for her to get that break in that and get to take classes that interested her outside of her academics. So it just depends. But if you don't get into your preferred program, you can always email us during that time. And me and Jenny will kind of see if there's anything possible we can do. It's not a guarantee, but rather it's better to ask than not ask. So, hope that answers that question. Let's see. Okay, so another question about the preferences. So let me explain the preference process really quickly. So if you're invited to the Honors College, and so you'll know that in your acceptance letter to UMD. So if you're accepted into University of Maryland and invited to the Honors College, it'll all be on your acceptance letter. In that acceptance letter, there is information in regards to the process to preference what program you want. So as you saw through the slides or the presentation, we have 8 programs to choose from. So of course, we can't get everybody into their first choice, depending on how people are actually preferencing or which one, what you're interested in. But what we do is there's a form that you fill out and we'll tell you to preference your choices. So it may be like out of the 8, you may preference 5 of those programs, and you'll let us know which one is your top choice, and it kind of will go from there. And then we in the office work to kind of make that happen to get you those preferences. Yes, and if you are asking questions, please put it in the Q&A section so that we can follow it. Let's see. All right, Jen, you want to ask that next question or answer the Josh?
Yep, I have a few questions that I've selected that I would like to answer live. One of them, and I think I answered something similar to this. The question is about a student's SAT scores not showing up in the admissions portal. So first, great, the student has checked their portal. So first thing to do is check your TERPS application portal. You can access it through the admissions.umd.edu website. But that's how you should be able to see what has and has not been submitted and been connected to your application. Typically, I believe SAT and ACT scores come in on a regular schedule. So there's a report that the College Board sends to the university, and then the scores are matched to students' records. So October 7th does seem like it's been a little while. I feel like maybe it should have come in by now, but you can certainly just check. You can check either with College Board and ask them if those scores have been submitted, or you can check with the University of Maryland undergrad admissions office. They're the ones who process applications. You can call them. I recommend emailing applymaryland@umd.edu, and they can check on that for you. And just if you know that they should have been sent, sometimes scores don't get matched correctly, so they can go in and manually search just to ensure that it wasn't a matching error that's causing the scores not to have been received. Another question about, can you get accepted into the Honors College after you get accepted into UMD? So the vast majority of our students who are in the Honors College come in as they're invited as freshmen. There is an opportunity for students to apply to join the Honors College after their freshman year. It's based on space available, and those students would start the curriculum with the next year's freshman class. So yes, it's possible. It is a very small number of students that we're able to invite, and it is based on space available. And then I just wanted to answer this: when should I expect to get my decision once my application is completed? The application deadline is November 1, and then all students who have a complete application on or before November 1 should hear on or before February 1st.
Okay, I saw there were a couple questions. So one of the questions was, excuse me, do we have any recommendations for getting in touch with students in the Honors College that are in a similar pathway to that we plan on choosing? So yes, there are lots of ways to get in touch with us. One of the biggest ones that we do is a host a day session. So you essentially get paired up with someone in the Honors College who's in your preferred living learning program and or your preferred major, and really you get a one-on-one tour or virtual session with the students. You can learn more about what life is like at UMD, in the Honors College, and in your specific program. I believe Chantel or Jenny can send the email maybe in the chat for how to set that up. There are also other opportunities. We have virtual Honors Ambassadors Hangouts that you can find, and there's also a link to that. Yeah, I think Chantel just sent it. There's definitely a lot of resources available online if you just Google like UMD Honors Ambassadors tours or something, or sessions. I think then there was another question, sorry, about how easy it was to switch majors and if it was possible to switch LLPs. It is possible to switch majors. I switched 3 times. You do, I would say it's like somewhat difficult in the fact that you need to be organized and you need to be the one who is keeping up with all of your prerequisites, with all the courses that you need to take. But it's definitely possible. Like, don't feel bad if you switch. The majority of people actually do end up switching. And it is possible to switch LLPs after your first year, but I believe you have to fill out a preference form, and that application will go live after your first year in the program. So, and once you make that switch, I think you're in it if you do get accepted. Sorry, you're in it. If you do get accepted, then you're in it, and I don't think you can change after that.
I just wanted to answer the question about, do Honors College students have different dorms? The answer is yes. So typically, like, each LLP will have like a specific dorm and a couple floors that's designated. So for example, like in ILS, you're in La Plata, the top 2 floors. I know GEMS is in Ellicott, and then University Honors is in Hagerstown, and then in Prince Frederick we have PCC and ACES. And so the nice thing is that you get housed with people who like are in a similar path as you. You get to meet a bunch of new people that are in your honors program, so it's a great way to kind of get to know everybody and to make friends and to make your community.
So I see there's a question in regards to what are the advantages of the Honors College versus the Scholars Program. So that's not the answer that you want, but we don't really like to compare the two in that type of way to say one is more advantageous than the other. They both serve similar but different purposes. So the Honors College, we're very academically driven. Scholars is too. However, they have a big service learning component to the curriculum and to their mission, which makes them stand out differently. So I would just say in that regard, we're different. But all of the living learning programs on campus are awesome, between Honors College, Scholars, Fire, Carillon Communities. There's a few of them, but they're all awesome and they all serve different things. So I don't want to say that's more advantage to be in Honors College. And if you were accepted, I want to also note that like it's not just the Honors College. So if you were accepted to any of those living learning programs, you'd find out in your acceptance letter. So. you still need to apply by November 1st if you want to be considered for any living learning programs on campus. All right. Are there any other questions that we have, especially for our students, since they're here?
I can do my best to answer. There are a couple of questions about like letters of rec and SAT or ACT scores coming in past the deadline. I mean, the official answer is if it's not in by November 1st, it's not in by November 1st. There can sometimes be a little bit of leeway, especially if a material is, coming in out of your control, such as a teacher letter of recommendation, but I would still do I would suggest doing everything you possibly can to get your materials in by November 1st. The question specifically about the SAT, yes, it will be accepted, but I cannot guarantee that your application will be marked as complete on November 1st if you say you want your score to be included. So just keep that in mind, please.
Okay, so there's another question in regards to how many applications that do we get for the Honors College. So I just want to clarify that for the first year students, they don't apply for the Honors College. So it's not applications that we're receiving in regards to that. But as far as students who are applying to the university, we'll probably review, and Jenny, you can correct me, it'll be about a few thousand. So maybe like 5-ish, it's hard to count. I want to say we review about around 5,000 student applications to then send out invites. Any other questions? I see Sydney, you're raising your hand. You have a question? I don't know if there's an option for you to, I don't think there's an option for you to speak, so you'll probably have to put it in the chat. There you go. There you go. You want to take that?
Yeah, there's no disadvantage. There's no disadvantage. Sorry, the question is how much of a disadvantage to not reporting the test score? There isn't. We consider applications with SAT or ACT scores, and then we also consider students who choose to submit without an SAT or ACT score. I want to say last year it was close to 50-50, pretty close to 50-50 of students who submitted SAT or ACT and students who chose not to. I don't know that I saw stats on numbers invited to honors that split the two, but my guess is it's pretty close to even, because we're really, really being careful about making sure that we consider students who don't submit those SAT or ACT scores. That's fine. It's up to you.
Thanks, Jenny. So I'm gonna answer this question and then we'll turn it over to the students to kind of get the second question. So this question is saying, are there certain requirements to be able to stay in the Honors College all 4 years? And do you have to reapply every year? So I'll answer both those questions. One, each program has their own curriculum requirements. It could range between 15 to 18 credits. So that you have to complete. As far as the Honors College in general, you have to be in good standing, and what good standing means is maintaining a 3.0 overall GPA. So that is the general kind of requirements to be in good standing with the Honors College, and making sure that you're completing your curriculum requirements for your particular program. You do not have to reapply or apply at all. Once you're in the Honors College, you're just in here until you graduate. After your curriculum is over, so majority of our students right now in this panel actually are upperclassmen. And so majority of them may have already completed their citation requirements. And they're still a part of the Honors College community. They just do not take honors classes, the Honors College classes, curriculum classes. But you're still a part of the community. You're still able to, be in the organizations and stuff of that nature. So I hope that answers that question. Cindy, you can go ahead and put your, I see your hand again. You can put your question in the chat. Next question, each one of you, if you want to answer this one, if you remember, because I know most of you are upperclassmen, but you may not remember 3-4 years ago. One of the attendees are asking, what school did you pick over, like if there was another school that you picked Maryland over, and why? So basically, why did you pick Maryland? I guess that's the simple question. Over the other opportunities you may have had. Go ahead, Jackie. I see you just want to say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, from what I remember, I think I had the way that I applied to my like 4-year universities was that I either wanted to apply to like a really, really good school or UMD, because I knew UMD is a really, really great public like university, and it also offers a lot of opportunities. My brother went here, he was telling me all about it. So I was like, it's either like the Ivies or like UMD, and a couple of other like private universities that I thought were interesting. So I got into a few private universities, like was considered for a few Ivies. And at this point, like I was looking at my options, and I got a lot of merit scholarship from UMD, and I got a lot of personal attention from the honors college because they would like send me letters. They told me I was in this specific program. I got a handwritten letter by an ILS student. And so at this point, like when I was talking to my mom, she was like, Jackie, you should go to the place that wants you and is clearly showing that they want you. And at that point, I knew that UMD, with all the things that they were showing me, clearly wanted me, was going to offer me the experiences that I needed to advance my career and all this kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm so glad that I chose UMD, because even though like, I think one of the big fears that a lot of people have is like, it's a huge state school, like how are you going to find yourself in the process? And I think the honors college offers you a great avenue to do that, because it's more personalized attention that is tailored to your interests. And that allowed me to really shape my career path and be who I am now as a senior.
That's awesome. Anyone else? If you can remember, I can't even remember yesterday, but if you can remember a couple years ago.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit about it. Is my volume okay, first of all? Okay, perfect. The engineering school at Maryland is very strong, which was definitely a big factor for me. And also along with the honors college, and the fact that UMD has a women in engineering department was super important to me. They have a ton of supportive programs, and I'm able to volunteer and give back as a senior now. And so just seeing that support for students was really important to me, and I didn't really see it anywhere else. And I think that support also goes with the honors college as well. Just having resources for students and being able to build those communities kind of right off the bat. And I really also liked the fact that it was a big public university. And so there are a lot of opportunities to get involved in student life, especially in campus organizations and student organizations. For me specifically, I'm involved in a student ballet company, which is not at all related to STEM, but it's something that I really like to do. And being at UMD has allowed me to pursue a lot of different interests that aren't all necessarily related.
Thank you, Emily. I love to hear that. Like, that's one of the things that I feel like we need to emphasize more. Like, college is for you to, it's not for you to be like tunnel vision on one thing. It's really for you to discover yourself, definitely come in here with goals and, you know, and stuff of that nature, but you don't have to get rid of your interest and your hobbies. There's so many opportunities, especially at UMD's campus, but like there's so many different opportunities no matter where you go. And just make sure you look for it. And like, don't limit yourself, I guess that, yeah, definitely don't limit yourself.
I can answer next. I love this question. Jackie and Emily gave great answers. So for me, I chose Maryland basically for its feel, like how I felt here. I came and visited on a tour, and I thought, okay, well, it's a state school, I'll apply, even though so many people from my high school were going. I was like, I don't want to see you ever again. But UMD is so big, like I didn't see them. And when I went on the tour, and specifically when I saw, went to a panel for my specific living learning program, DCC, that was the day that I was like, I can really see myself here. Like, I feel like I belong here. I see people who I could be friends with, who are easy to talk to. Like, I really have grown as a person. Now, like after I chose DCC, I've, like Jackie, had no regrets. And I really, you know, grew, like learned a lot of different perspectives. And I'm really glad that I chose UMD. And I think one of the other factors was I've also cost. It was in state, and I also got a couple like merit scholarships, so that was, helpful.
Absolutely. Did anybody else want to go?
Really quickly, one thing that I love about UMD and why it's such a great school to go to is like its location. So we're right near DC, within close proximity to Baltimore. And Chantel was mentioning all the internships that honors students have had. And I think a lot of that is a lot of our location contributes to that. And there are a lot of great opportunities through the Honors College. And so I would say that was certainly a contributing factor and one of the reasons I'm really grateful to go to UMD.
So I'm sorry, I was reading this fun fact from Emily. That is awesome. So which is why, Emily said that Lauren spoke on a DCC open house panel, I guess when you were a prospective student, that she attended, which helped her choose UMD, which is why we definitely think it's very important for our current students to be here and to be a part of this process, because most people don't want to hear what the staff have to say. You want to hear from the people that are actually students that are actually going through it right now. And so definitely use the resources that are available. So we have the virtual Hangouts. The hosted days it's in person, but we're not doing that. We're suspended right now. Maybe back in the spring, we're not sure yet, but we definitely have at least like virtual Hangouts, which you can still be connected with one of our ambassadors and ask those questions that you have. We'll have like multiple different opportunities like to reach out to us if you have questions. Even if you just email us at Honors Admissions and ask a question, we can probably get you linked up with one of our students to help answer any of those type of questions that you have.
I also, there was a question posted that I typed an answer to, but I want to point out someone asked a really great question that on the virtual Hangout, we mentioned that we have 8 programs, but the virtual Hangout form only has 6 listed. These are brand new programs that don't actually have students in them yet. So that is why you can't ask to talk with a student in the interdisciplinary business honors program because there are no students there yet. So hopefully some of you on this call will join honors, next year, join that program, and then we'll join us as an honors ambassador. So you can be the person to talk about that program. Same for Honors Global Communities. But thank you for pointing that out to us. That's a reminder that that's something we need to look at and make sure that we update with these 2 new programs. But this is still very brand new information to us. So we're still figuring out some of our answers to these brand new programs.
And just to add to that, even if you're interested in one of those programs, you can still complete the form and we'll still get you linked up with a student, even if it's basic by the major or something of that nature. I definitely don't want you to not fill it out just because those 2 programs aren't there. I'm sure there's plenty of other questions that you may have that any of our current students can help with. So one question, so do honor students live in their living learning program all 4 years? So I'll rephrase that to say, do they live in the residence hall that's assigned to them? So 2 of our programs have, so as it was stated earlier, all of our programs do have like a designated residence hall, but only 2 of them actually have a requirement for you to live there. And the 2 are DCC and ACES. Oh, excuse me. That's not true. ACES and ILS. My apologies. DCC strongly recommends it. So ACES and ILS are the 2 programs that require you to live there. So ACES, you have to live there for 2 years in Prince Frederick, and ILS, you have to live in La Plata for 1 year. The rest of our programs just highly suggest that you live with them because it's a part of the living learning aspect of the program. And as far as living together, you may not be in the resident halls all 4 years, but a lot of our students end up going to different housing and living together. I know Lauren has before, because I remember any of y'all, Emily too. Yeah, so majority of them will actually go off to live somewhere else and bring their LLP buddy with them. So definitely long lasting friendships. Anyone y'all want to talk about?
Yeah,
Oh,
I actually talk about that. So I'm in Gemstone, and Gemstone also strongly recommends living in Ellicott Hall, which is our designated residence hall, freshman year. So we have the first four floors designated for Gemstone. And generally, students live with Gemstone roommates. You're not required to have a Gemstone roommate your freshman year, but most people do. And it's a great bonding experience. I still, as a senior, live with 2 other roommates that are also in Gemstone. It really is a great way of forming those like lasting friendships and just making more friends throughout like UMD.
yeah, I would echo that. I lived with people from my living learning program all 4 years. And I would also say, like, you don't just make part of living with everyone in the living learning program is like not just friends for like 2 years or something. It's like friends for life. People I know who have jobs now that may seem a little far away, but people who have jobs now, I know they're across the country in like Seattle and in San Francisco, and they still live with people from their living learning program. So that's just like a testament to how strong the bonds are that you make with the people that you live with. So definitely highly encouraged. It's also fine if you're a commuter. I know some people who are commuters and like still have great bonds with their living learning program.
Yeah, I would also just add that the roommate that I was with, who was in ILS my freshman year, we have been roommates for all 4 years. And actually our sophomore year, we roomed with 7 other, well, it was me and 7 other girls, all from ILS, in one of like the really big residence halls. And we now live in apartments 4 and 4, but we're on the same floor. So we've kept together for all 4 years. So you definitely do find like your group and you kind of stick with them.
So I just wanted to answer the question that came in about where the interdisciplinary business honors program will be housed. Those students will definitely have an opportunity to live together. We haven't determined that yet. We're working with Res Life to finalize that information, but we should have information, I believe, by January. So students will certainly know where that program will be housed before they submit a preference form. Oh, and the question about sending AP scores, we don't look at AP scores with the application. So send or don't send, but we don't look at them yet. There will be an opportunity to list it on the application, I think. So I guess we do look at it, but it's not something we make decisions about. Again, it's a piece of information that we review with the entire application, but it's not the basis for any decision.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you want credit for classes, send your AP scores. But like Jenny said, no impact on actual admission.
Yes, thank you, Lauren. If you take AP exams and get passing scores, send them so that you get credit, definitely. But that can be done actually in the summertime after you, like students, seniors will probably take AP exams in May and you won't have those scores until June of, next year after you've already committed to UMD. So definitely send them, but it's not a part of the admission decision. Yes. Do you require official transcripts for DE courses? I assume DE is dual enrollment. If it's something else, please clarify. But yes, official transcripts for any courses that you have taken that are, especially if they're showing up on your high school transcript as a credit that is going toward your high school, we do need the official transcript from the institution where the course was earned. That should be a part of your application that you submit.
Perfect. So,
this would be a question for the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. The question, sorry, let me repeat the question just in case. How are IB scores counted for and converted for a weighted GPA? Again, we don't look at the actual GPA, we look at the courses, and we certainly give weight in not to like in a score, but as the rigor of the coursework that a student is pursuing. And IB courses are something that we do pay attention to and look at. You know, we look at the IB courses that are available, the courses that a student has taken, same for AP courses that are available at your school. We pay attention to whether your school has IB courses available or not, and has AP courses available or not. But it's not something that we pay attention to in terms of calculating the GPA. That's not something that we do in honors.
Do we have any final questions before we wrap up tonight? We have about 3 more minutes. While we're waiting, is there anything from our students or ambassadors? Do you have any lasting tips or advice for our prospective students while they're going through this admissions process?
I would just say, if you can, like, I know it's a stressful time, and there's a lot of options, or, you know, maybe not as many, I don't know. There's a lot of different options, but if you can, like, take a deep breath, kind of see if you can figure out like where you feel most comfortable, not like stuck in your comfort zone, but comfortable like, as a person. Because college is not just about the academics. It is, you know, about, you know, you as a person. So find somewhere where you can flourish, and also enjoy your senior year.
Anyone else? Tips or advice?
I know that when I was a senior, I was kind of scared of how big UMD was and how many opportunities there were. And I know it can be overwhelming as you're kind of looking at all your options, but I can confidently say I'm so happy I made the decision to go here. You meet all kinds of people, and there are so many things and opportunities, so many clubs, internships, you name it. And one thing I love about the Honors College is that even though you're part of such a big community, which is great, your living and learning program is really a place where you can cultivate those friendships and have a smaller community and a sense of belonging. And so you really get the best of both worlds. So I hope that's helpful. I'm always rooting for UMD, so I hope you end up here. But yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. I love the honors ambassadors, they're so awesome. So that is the end of our presentation and our Q&A. We just want to say thank you guys for joining us. We know it's like dinner time. And so if you have any further questions, Jenny already put in the chat, but you can email us at honors@admissions@umd.edu. If you have any questions regarding like the application or scores or transcripts and stuff of that nature, we do recommend that. Hi, Dundalk. We do recommend that you reach out to the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, because they'll be more knowledgeable about that process and like what they accept and what they don't, and what you need to submit and what you don't. And do not forget to submit all of your materials by November 1st if you are interested in a living learning program or merit scholarships. That's very, very important. So thank you guys again.